Hey guys, welcome back. This is episode 12 breakdown of NieR Automata's anime. And in this video, I'm going to go over what happened and how this episode ends nicely with completing Route A and B for us. But then I'm also going to go into some major spoilers and details about the origins of YoRHa. And with that, please hit that like button and the subscribe button to help my channel out, and let's talk about it. Before I jump into this episode, I need to point out something I missed in the last episode. When what I call Titan Eve popped up, my mind was so focused on Attack on Titan references, I didn't even think to point out the similarity between Eve and the Queen Beast from Drakengard. The episode starts back off where the last episode ended. Adam was getting destroyed by the laser, and then we're back on the bunker, and Operator 6-0 is questioning the usage of the laser because they haven't even gotten permission to use the laser from the council. The commander then walks away, but as she's walking away, she says, "We have a need to seek out God. Even the God we seek is non-existent." Now this reminds me of her conversation between 9S and the commander, but that conversation goes, "No one dies without a reason, and we need a God worth dying for," which from my understanding was the original idea for the lie with the humans being on the moon. It was a God in a sense to the androids that they could fight for, and it gave them purpose. At least that was part of the original idea for YoRHa that was founded by Zinnia. I'm very interested in seeing where the anime is going to take us. Back on Earth, they're looking at the crater that was left from the blast, and they detect Adam is still alive. 9S and 2B go off to find him. 2B asks 9S not to push himself, and Bro is missing an arm, but he tells 2B that he can always assist with hacking, which is his kind of go-to. When fighting bigger machines in the game, I'd always prefer using 9S's hacking to take him out. They make it to the bottom of the crater. Now this crater in the game was made from a Goliath type machine exploding, but in the anime they changed it up, and this is damage from the satellite laser. And when you look up a bit, you can see someone sitting on the debris, just like in the game. You saw Eve sitting on the debris, and in the anime, it's Adam. And then the background music that's picking up is a song called Sound of the End. Adam turns his face slightly. They wonder if he's trying to regenerate himself, which it looks like he may have been trying to, but then all of a sudden he just falls and you realize half his body is missing, which was a great illusion. At first glance, it looked like he was just sitting there. Adam begins to cry, saying all this time, and I wonder what he was going to say. When 2B goes in for the kill, Adam grabs 2B, and then Adam has flashbacks of his brother Eve, and his brother is promising that he'll be right here waiting for him. 2B hesitates, and she says, "You machine lifeforms have no hearts." And then 9S helps deliver the final blow. 9S has a sigh of relief because the battle is over, and you see the machines around the planet have stopped their attack. In the game, it was just 2B that dealt the final blow to Eve, and then she was the one who had the sigh of relief that it was over. 2B then gets ready to say, "I owe you one, 9S," but then something is wrong with 9S. His eyes are red because he has the logic virus. He comes to the conclusion that he got corrupted when he hacked into Adam, which is the same for the game. When he hacked into Eve, he was corrupted. 9S says it's fine because they can use his backup data, and 2B does not like that answer because she states that it won't be your current self. And 9S explains, "We can't upload corrupted data to the bunker, so it must be done." In the game, when he's hacking Eve during that final battle, you could see that he's being corrupted. And when he has his flashback in the show, it shows when he attacked Adam, he was also being attacked. We see 9S's body evolving because of the virus, and 9S asks 2B to end him by her own hands. The background music that is playing is a song Vague Hope, the Cold Rain version. When 2B goes in closer, 9S does attack her, not intentionally, and her visor falls off. Now during an interview with Yoko Taro, he was asked, "Why do YoRHa androids and operators have visors covering their eyes and mouth respectively?" He says, "The visors over the eyes is to represent the characters who cannot see reality, whereas the operators cannot speak about reality. Each of the emblems also represent this. The resistance with the emblem have an open eye, means that they understand the reality that surrounds them. On the other hand, YoRHa are ignorant to the fact of reality." Now the scene has more weight behind this moment. Now that both of them have their visors off, they really see each other. They're not blinded to the world around them, which also has me thinking about A2 as well. She has had her visor off since more than likely the Pearl Harbor descent mission. So she has not been ignorant to reality, especially because of the betrayal. She, in a way, sees the entire world around her. Also, 9S's body's evolving is similar to the people who were infected with the WSC. And I know the red eyes are similar to the Legion in Drakengard. And in Grimoire NieR book, the question was raised to Yoko Taro, asking if the two are related. He said, "If I had to give an answer, then yes." 2B then strangles 9S just like in the game, and it's pretty heartbreaking scene to watch. 2B is showing emotions and is crying over 9S's body. She asks, why does it always end up like this? And when you come to the game the first time around, it doesn't really hit as hard, but then once you get further into the game and understand how many times she's had to kill him, this scene is pretty heavy. Now, the other detail we get from the novel is the reason 2B had to strangle 9S was because during her battle with Eve, her near field combat system was destroyed, so she just couldn't use her sword to make it less painful for 9S. But they don't really show that in the anime, but I think that's just me pointing out the small details, because the imagery and how important this scene is and the pain that we see, it's all there. Now here's a little insert from the novel. She asks herself, why did it always end up like this? No matter what she did, why she was unable to escape from her destiny to kill 9S. The current 9S didn't even know she used to call him Nines. He also wasn't aware of the time that they spent together. Every time she executed 9S and his memories were erased, she was overcome with pain to the point where she wanted to abandon her mission and get executed herself, which we're seeing some of that emotion now. The reason why she never did was because she was keeping a promise to 9S. He wished that no matter how much of his memory was lost, he still wanted to see her, and that she could kill him without hesitation, and 2B always granted that wish. Then there is a machine head and its eyes are blinking. 2B is agitated because it seems like some of the machines are still alive, and when she goes to attack the head, I notice she is limping. Now in the game, they almost lost to Eve, so it made sense on why she was limping, but in the anime, they didn't really show her move after she fought those other machines, so I wonder why she's limping, but yet again, that's just me pointing out the small details. But when she goes in for the attack, she stops because more of them start to blink. She wonders if it's a data transmission. Then you see them resonating in different parts of the world. We see the resistance and of course Jackass really fascinated by what is happening. Pascal is also super happy at what is happening. You see more YoRHa in the city ruins, then you see some by the mall that leads to the Forest Kingdom. Then the scene zooms in on the mall because it now shows A2 with her Type 40 large sword, and she's looking out the window. So with this timing and those YoRHa right outside, I think they're there to hunt A2, or they're just there by luck like 2B and 9S when they first met her. Well, technically not the first time, but you know what I mean. Then we come back to 2B and one of the giant machines wakes up, and it's 9S telling 2B to hold off and explains that he found some of himself on the network and starts to ramble about how he is back, but 9S stops him and has a sigh of relief, and she says to him that she's so relieved. Then we get the same ending as Route A and B where 9S picks up 2B. Then the song Weight of the World starts to play, and just like any of the other endings, you hear the same song. It looks like they made a new version of Weight of the World for the anime, and now I'm not a music major or anything, but I can hear some differences in the music, and also the anime version is only 2 minutes long, whereas the games version is over 5 minutes long. But 9S says this battle is bound to have great effects on the outcome of the war, but until the outcome is decided, they will continue to fight. Then we see the episode title, Flowers for a Machine, which is ending A of the game, which is exactly how this episode is ending. The reports that are hidden are, during the previous battle, mechanical life forms and androids, the predecessors, disappeared. And then the second report is, investigate carefully, including the possibilities of a mutation to Group B. Not 100% sure what those reports mean, but what do you guys think? Then it goes back to the bunker 2 hours before the fight with Adam. It is 9S doing his full data haul, and it is the same as the game, just now we get 9S's body instead of the little ship. The same thing happens, there's a strange noise, and he wants to investigate and opens up a port to the data server. He starts by looking at the servers that have the fewest amount of views. The first report he comes across is the shipments that are being sent to the moon, and they're nothing but empty containers. But then he gets attacked by an attack barrier, and he's trying to get Pod to reactivate his body before the attack barrier reaches him, but then he gets trapped in a box. And here's where the anime very much differs from the game, at least visually. You hear a little girl's voice, and then a new port opens, and normally in the game he comes across the Project YoRHa file, but this time it's the red girls that greet him. The red girls are explaining that they are monitoring the androids. They start to explain at times as form of violence, at times as form of hatred, and at times form of love, and various stimulations. We provide diverse trains of thought, a colorful array of logic to the machine life forms, and with that, they've decided to monitor androids and how they would respond to these newfound variations. 9S wonders if this is some kind of self-reliant virus. He says it can't be because it's inside the bunker. The red girls float past 9S and say, but it's all over now, and when 9S tries to figure out what they meant by that, they disappeared. Then he falls into a body of water, and then you see the red girls above the water water, saying, "With this, preparations are now complete. And that is why he must," and then all of a sudden the voice changes and says, "be given the gift of clarity, the fruit of truth." Then they disappear, and 9S is sinking further in, and he sees a light and goes towards it. And then all of a sudden it flashes to a TV. He hears himself saying, "After a long period of battles and adventures, the prophets spoke." Then he comes across the report that originally he discovered in the server in the game about Project YoRHa and the foundation of the Council of Humanity. But you hear his voice still stating, "Oh, grant me the mercy of the land." But the files continue to pop up on the TV, so he's learning more and more. And this is the same dialogue that you hear in the server. 9S is wondering why he hears this in the server. But then the TV cuts off and it shows 9S but in white. Now, I'm going to get into some pretty heavy spoilers and on the origin of YoRHa. So this is my warning to you now. If you don't want to get spoiled by anything, now's a great time to stop. But if you're still here, let's get into it. Now, I'm pretty sure this is the original model of 9S. Going to backtrack a bit, there was the creator Zinnia who created two androids modeled number 2 and number 9. Yes, these are the androids 2B and 9S are based off of. Now, there was talk about how the resistant members had names and the YoRHa went by numbers to make it easier for Zinnia to keep track of who had the black boxes and which didn't. Now, obviously, if that was the original story, that has now changed because the resistance members now in this anime have said that they gave those names to themselves. Now, going back to what I said earlier about the android versions of God being the humans on the moon, the founder of YoRHa more than likely was thinking his idea wasn't the greatest idea, but the original 9 unit assassinated Zinnia and started to put the plans in motion of what we now know as Project YoRHa. Number 9 initially added a back door to the bunker that would allow the machine lifeforms in and out anytime, giving the machines the ability to destroy the YoRHa after a certain amount of time. The reason behind this step was because if the machines wiped out all of the androids, all the evidence of the humans were extinct would be wiped out. The number 2 caught on to this plan that Unit 9 was making, and so she took out number 9. And here's the start of their endless cycle of number 2 always killing number 9. But at this point, the plan is too far gone to stop it. 2 months after Unit 9 took out Zinnia, the first batch of YoRHa units were created. Then 3 more years, the bunker would be completed. The bunker was the key to place the back door so the machines can cause chaos. At this point, all the androids that were involved with the project were long gone, and once the wheels were spinning, there was no stopping it. Also, if you want to hear more about the origins of YoRHa, go ahead and check out the video I've linked in my description. That guy does a great job of summarizing the origin. Then 9S wakes up. Pod explains that there was an error and he was down for 400 seconds, and he says because of that error, his memory is out of whack. Pod asks that they still do the data sync, but 9S says that there may be problems, so let's hold off on it. And then that is when we get the distress call from 2B, and then when 9S and Pod leave the room, you see one of the red girls pop up on his screen. Then a voice says, "Please entertain us, YoRHa unit number 9. Then the episode shows now text, and you hear 2B's voice asking, "What separates us androids from machine life forms we wage war against?" Then it shows flashbacks. She continues to say, "The machines have gained emotions and consciousness. The final screams that they summoned when they faced death still echo within her mind endlessly," which is similar dialogue she had in the novel after she went to the factory and saw the cult machines. She thought about all these same questions. Then we get to the preview of season 2, and you could straight up play this with the ending from Route B to preview the rest of the game.
Never forget the pain of having your homeland stolen. We will never give up our struggle. We'll take back the seas, the skies, the land. Take back the planet that was taken from us by the machines. With the success of this mission, here and now, we'll put an end to this damn war. Glory to mankind.
Glory to mankind!
There are slight differences though. Yes, there is a slight difference between Pascal's scene and the anime, but it still gets the point across. Other examples, you see the twins crying, but in the game it is just the scene when 9S wakes up and the twins were there to greet him. Then one of the other differences was A2 when you first start to play as her and she fights a machine lifeform in the desert. She's normally having an inner dialogue with 2B and then throws her sword in the sand. But in the anime it is a scene of her in the city ruins looking over something. Then you see another Goliath machine getting ready to attack, and then 2B goes into her berserker mode. My theory is Yoko Taro is showing a different timeline, and my logic with that is just simply because of Accor's existence. Accord is there to monitor all of the timelines. So that's all my logic is with this. So while it has a lot of similarities, there are slight differences that definitely has me interested in what these new episodes are going to bring us. What do you guys think of all this? Are you excited for the new season to start? Actually, by the time I upload this video, the new season's already started. And with that, I'm going to go watch the new season. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about this video. Let me know if I missed anything, because I'm sure I did. And with that, I'll see you guys next time.